Media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Well, first of all, let me know if you can hear me. If you can, fantastic. If not, we'll get it taken care of. But welcome to the weekend debrief, where faith in God sets the standard and masculinity is absolutely not toxic. Today is Saturday, June 20th in the year of our Lord, 2026. And we got a lot to react to, a lot of stuff to react to. And it's crazy to me. The mental gymnastics some people go through. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the footage that the judge in the Karmelo Anthony case released. And then we're going to get into some Major League Baseball stuff. We're going to get into, we're going to continue our coverage on the UK rape gang report that was released. And we're going to get into who's been covering it and who hasn't been. And then some other stuff that we'll react to close us out. But first, let's talk about this footage that was released in the Carmelo Anthony case. It dropped on Friday, and the surveillance from the stadium is about 15 minutes long, and half of it is just people walking around the stadium, walking around the track. And one of the things that stands out is that one of the narratives that they put forth was that he was trying to get out of the rain. And in the footage, I saw one person with an umbrella. Everybody else is walking around that stadium without a care in the world. It's clearly not downpouring. Perhaps it was at one point, but not in the footage that you see. And then towards the end, in the body cam footage, it's raining a little bit. There's some drops on the sweatshirt, but nothing that would warrant somebody needing to go into somebody else's tent to get out of the rain, unless you're a Mary Pansy, like I said before. So the footage is grainy, and you can't really make out a whole lot, but it's enough. And this is what the jury saw. And the jury saw enough to basically call BS on the self-defense claim. So I'm going to play a little bit of it. There's no sound, so I'll be talking over it and commenting on it as necessary. But let's go ahead and take a look at it. I posted it the entire 15 minutes, courtesy of Sarah Fields, is on my X and Facebook feed, so you can watch the whole thing if you are so inclined. But let's go ahead and take a look at it. So this is a few seconds before it actually, the incident actually happens. And just keep your eye on this area right here, right under the yellow of the tent. There it is. There's the altercation. And then there is Anthony making his escape. Let's go ahead and play a little bit more. And so he's running. And this is not somebody who feels bad. He's trying to escape. And there's another piece. Let's see. Okay. Here he is. He's being escorted back to the area by coaches. And here he's getting combative with with the coach. This was not the angel that everyone wanted us to believe that he was, and that he was just defending himself. But of course, you have the race hustlers and the grievance merchants still saying that this video clearly shows that he was jumped and defending himself. And when it first dropped, I saw some commentary from some people, and they had the completely wrong area of the video highlighted. They were saying that the event, or that the stabbing took place like towards the bottom of the stands. Completely wrong. And again, just showing that they are seeing what they want to see. Now, we all saw the body cam footage of him crying. I think that was an act. Just because everything that we see aside from that, and even in some of the other body cam footage, he's calm and collected. And this was, the only thing this clearly shows is that it was not self-defense. But like I said, you got the grievance merchants like Tariq Nasheed and Willie D, who's a YouTube personality, Tiffany Billions, the amazing Lucas. I'm laughing about it, but it's not relevant to this story. I'll talk about that at another time, because it is kind of funny. But that aside, let's talk about Willie D, because Willie D, he's a YouTube personality, grifter with a pretty good following. And this is his commentary on the footage. So let's yeah, there we go.
The video is blurred, but I'm gonna tell you straight up, fam, it looked like he got jumped to me, but that ain't even the point. The point is,
I'm just gonna stop it right there, because that is the entire point. Because if he had been jumped, like you're claiming, then that is a legitimate case for self-defense. And of course, he's talked himself into some mental gymnastics to believe that he was jumped, when there's no evidence on that surveillance footage to suggest that. There was a shove and then there was a stab. It's that plain and simple. And that is not grounds for lethal force in a self-defense situation. No reasonable person would, and this is the standard, no reasonable person would believe that being shoved, even by somebody who's a little bit bigger than you, is grounds for taking that person out. It's just not. So, and this is the line that all of them, Willie D, the Tiffany Billions, the Amazing Lucas, Tariq Nasheed, and all the rest of them, this is the line that they're feeding us. And I want to talk about that because the Anthony family's advocate, Dominique Alexander, he is on a podcast with this woman, Neek at Night. I never heard of her until I saw this footage. And I'm not sure what her position is on it. She's challenging him pretty good, and from what I can see here. But listen to this, because this, and this is the advocate for the family. So check this out.
Some people were saying that they were able to see him getting jumped. I couldn't see that. So I was wondering if you guys saw something different.
No, it's not. I didn't see that with that video. No.
Now, I can't say with 100% certainty, but I am fairly certain that he was one of the people from the beginning saying that he had been jumped and it was self-defense. Now, I haven't had time to thoroughly research and go back through all of his statements and see. If somebody in the chat can tell us, that'd be great. But I'm certain that he has said that at one point in time. But
I didn't see him. I didn't see him getting jumped. Oh, you know what I mean? Like I saw movement over there. I saw that there was multiple people around him, but I didn't see he was getting, you know what I mean, like the altercation. No.
Oh, okay. If you guys have any questions.
Okay, there's another part where she challenges him a little bit more, but I'm not gonna bore you with searching for that. But yeah, this is the advocate for the family saying that he didn't get jumped based on the footage that we all now can see. And again, this was the footage that was shown in the courtroom. This is the footage that the jury saw. These race hustlers and grifters, they're doing everyone a disservice. They're doing everyone a disservice by lying to their audiences and getting them to support them, getting their content monetized by lying. And they're appealing to a very low IQ, a low IQ person. And they're low IQ people themselves, honestly, because I don't know how anyone with a couple of firing neurons can look at any of that and conclude that it was self-defense. Look at that. Look at the transcripts from the trial, all of the witness statements. None of it adds up to self-defense. Not even in the most generous possible interpretation you could have does it add up to self-defense. So I'm just going to leave that there for now. I'm sure there'll be more to talk about as this plays out, especially when it comes to these grifters and these grievance merchants. It's just they're just exhausting. Absolutely exhausting. And I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what it's going to take for them to come to the obvious conclusion that everyone else with an IQ above room temperature has come to, which is Austin Metcalf was murdered by Carmelo Anthony. And Carmelo Anthony deserves a whole lot more than 35 years in jail. He deserves, based on his age, he wasn't eligible for the death penalty. I understand that. So he deserves every one of those 99 years that was on the table. Every single one. But here we are. By the time he's 40, he'll probably be out and able to live a good portion of his life if he turns it around and gives his life to Jesus and repents for his sins. If he takes the lessons he learns in prison and gets out, well, then he'll be right back. So we'll see. All right, let's, I want to move on to this. I want to continue the coverage of the UK rape gang report that came out. And I'm not going to relitigate a lot of it. We can read it. We know what's in it. But we only know what's in it because of people like me, people in the independent media podcast space who have actually taken the time to read it and understand it. And I haven't read the whole thing. I've read more than I had the last time we were together. I haven't read all 219 pages, but I have read quite a bit of it. And it is horrific. Absolutely horrific. But one of the things that really stands out when it comes to this is the fact that it has been basically ignored by the American Pravda, the mainstream media. According to Media Research Center and Newsbusters, ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, and MS Now have given 0 seconds of coverage to this story. 0. That is absolutely insane. And this graphic that's up there right now, I know it would be tough to see. It goes from June 16th to 18th. But before we came on, I checked, and even as of now, there still hasn't been. No, Fox News is the only one that has given any coverage to it, and it's not even that much. The only place you're hearing about this is on X, is on Facebook, and in the podcast independent media space. I don't get it. I don't get it. Because it's not like this is isolated to the United Kingdom. It's not like this is something that could never happen here, because we have an increasing population of Muslims in this country who call white women kuffars, or I think that's applicable to all non-Muslims, if I remember correctly, and think that they're there for their pleasure to do with what they will, because they're not worth what men are worth. They're second-class citizens to them, there for their pleasure. And this was, and it's not like this is an isolated, recent phenomenon. This has been going on for decades. The first recorded one happened in 1955. I think that deserves a little bit of coverage, no? This is decades of organized grooming and rape in the UK. And it's mostly Pakistani Muslims, but it's not limited to Pakistani Muslims. And I've been I've been going after Mehdi Hassan on X hard. I'm trying to get him to block me. He seems to have a little bit thicker skin. And then again, he's probably not seeing the things that I'm saying to him anyway, but it's still fun. But getting back to this, let's take a look at this. It's only 20 seconds, but let's check this out.
I have seen nationalities that are not Pakistani men in these gangs, but many of them are Afghanistani or Iranian or Iraqi, but they are still all Muslim. And it is an issue when we see increasing numbers of illegal immigration into the country, where many of those immigrants share the same belief systems and different ways of treating women.
Exactly. This has been going on for so long. And Rupert Lowe and the people who participated in getting this report out are being vilified by people like Mehdi Hassan and the people in the Labor Party over there who just love this Islamic invasion that's taking place over there. Piers Morgan's another one. He still insists that there is no Muslim invasion. He still insists that this problem, this report, is exaggerated, fabricated, and is not worthy of the attention that it's getting over there. And I don't think it's getting enough attention over there either, honestly, because so many people in that government, they want this, and they're downplaying it. Not to mention the number of Muslims who are in parliament and in positions of power throughout the government in the UK. They're doing everything they can to suppress it. Given the scope of it, it was almost too big to ignore over there. But for some reason over here, it's not a big deal. 0 minutes of coverage is just astonishing to me. It's mind-boggling. And I just heard a report just before we started today that Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister in the UK, is going to resign on Monday. Good. He should resign right now. But I think a big part, I mean, he's a terrible prime minister and has been even before this whole thing broke wider open than it already had been. It's been talked about for a long time. But Keir Starmer, before he became prime minister, he spent some time as the director of public prosecutions, which is the head of the CPS, the Crown Prosecution Service. And he's He's mentioned in this report. And we know how people being mentioned in reports is a big thing, right? He's mentioned in this report. And I'm going to show you some of the lowlights of Sir Keir Starmer. It may be a little tough to see, but we're gonna give it a shot. And it says here, while Keir Starmer was the director of public prosecutions, it has been reported that 13,000 suspected rape gang members and pedophiles were let off with warning letters. What? Warning letters. Really? That blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. Even if there was scant evidence that they committed the crimes of which they were accused, letting them off with a warning letter just I don't, even given all the circumstances over there in the UK and how they're so sympathetic to the Islamic religion and cult and all of that, even given all that, it still makes absolutely no sense to me that they would not even try to investigate further. And then we have the mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, repeatedly insisted that there were no grooming gangs operating in the city. He said that the evidence from the whistleblowers was politically motivated. However, a Daily Express, and this is all from the report. A Daily Express investigation revealed that Khan had direct access to Her Majesty's Inspectorate of Constabulary documents detailing the very patterns of offending he had denied. Khan read these files, yet continued to deny the existence of grooming gangs in public. He should resign too. He won't. I'm actually kind of surprised that Starmer is going to resign. But this scandal deserves worldwide coverage. It should be everywhere, especially considering how prolific the immigration is from these Islamic countries to the West. This should be a warning for everyone. And the fact that so many people are just turning a blind eye to it is not just mystifying, but it's scary to think that so many people are that brainwashed that they think there's nothing to this. It's insane. And there are, I'm not gonna play any of them, but there are several accounts on video from some of the victims that are just horrific, just heartbreaking. And to think that they're just throwing up their hands and saying, oh, well, it's ridiculous. And I can't believe that there are so many people in this country who are doing the same thing, who are just, no big deal. Thank you for your comment, Amy Miller. I can't read all of that. Obviously, thank you for the comment. I appreciate it. Razor 1972, deny all entries. Yes, absolutely. I have said, and this is a bit off topic, but I have said several times, there should be a complete moratorium on all immigration, legal and otherwise, for at least 10 to 15 years. At least 10 to 15 years. No entry, we're full. See you in a decade, at least. But that's extreme or something. I don't know, these people are ridiculous. Well, let's get a word in from our sponsor, and our sponsor for today's show is going to be the SHR Media Shop. It's late for Father's Day, I know, but the 4th of July is coming up, our 250th anniversary as the greatest nation the world has ever seen. And so head over to shrmedia.com, click on the banner at the top. That will bring you right to the SHR shop, where you can check out all of the designs for all of the guys' shows. Mission Ready Men, this one, BZ and the Berserk Bobcat Saloon, The Edge of Liberty, Beer and Bullstein, The Reaver of Common Sense, all of those great shows. Head over there, check out the t-shirts and the mug and the hoodie and the SHR logo shirt. All of that is there. I encourage you to pick it up. And also the 250 Reasons to Read Source Documents, which is a shirt that we put out in honor of 250th anniversary of this great nation. So head over there, shrmedia.com, click on the banner, check it out, and celebrate this great country and celebrate independent media. Help us to keep the lights on. All right, let's move on, because there's another story that we talked about. We talked about earlier that needs a follow-up, and we talked about MLB Pride, the Major League Baseball, and their Pride Nights. And the last time we talked about it, there were 3 pitchers from the San Francisco Giants who refused to wear the rainbow caps, and they wore them, but they wrote Bible verses on them, which was against MLB policy or something. And then there was another pitcher who just refused. He didn't write anything on his cap, but he didn't wear the rainbow cap either. And it's just it was a small, but I think significant stand that they took for their faith. And Major League Baseball didn't like it. They warned them, talking about they were violating the uniform policy and all this stuff. And there was another pitcher from a different team who responded. And I think he had a fantastic take on it. And my tabs are out of order, but here it is. Let's take a listen to this. This is Diamondbacks pitcher Ryan Thompson, and I think he had a really good take on this. Check it out.
A lot of the hate comes from perceived negativity, and without getting too off track, but like the Pride Night stuff with the Giants, like I think that there's a perceived negativity with this stuff of like, okay, Landon Routt wrote a verse on his hat. That means that he's anti-something. That doesn't mean that, right? It means that he's pro something, right? So the rainbow means something to him, It means that he believes in the Noahic covenant being something that's special to us as Christians, right? That means that no matter how bad we possibly could be, no matter how much we reject God, that he will never again flood the earth. That's really cool. That's really special. And we do a lot of stuff, and we're all sinful. We all do a lot of stuff that may be worthy of a flooding, but God will never flood us, and because of that promise, and his promises are unconditional. So that's something that's really cool to me, is that there's nothing negative, there's nothing anti, there's nothing that says that he doesn't support anything or that he's like hateful or anything like that at all. It's all positive. It's all like, man, this is what the rainbow means to me. And I just thought that was really cool that he did that. A lot of the hate.
I think he's spot on. I think he's spot on with that take. And I really don't have a whole lot to add to what he said. His theology is right. And his attitude towards the whole thing is right. I mean, it's not, what we believe as Christians is not hateful. We pray for people who are in the LGBT community that they would come out of it. That's not hateful. That's love, as we're commanded to love our neighbors. But on the flip side of that, because we don't affirm their sin, because we don't affirm their lifestyle, they turn around and they absolutely hate our guts. So who are the hateful ones? Who really are the hateful ones? It's not us. But because Major League Baseball pulled that nonsense, Harmeet Dillon in the DOJ Civil Rights Office is opening up an investigation into Major League Baseball. Because what's at issue is a double standard. Major League Baseball allows Black Lives Matter patches. They allow the rainbow flag and rainbow logos and other social messages. But when it comes down to what Christians believe, well, that's a bridge too far. We can't have that. And so Harmeet Dillon, she's saying, nah, we're gonna take a look at this and see if they are actually in violation of some rules. And I suspect that they are, but we'll see. But check this out.
Major League Baseball in hot water. They're claiming this is just about a uniform policy, but a lot of people out there, many people up on Capitol Hill, see this as targeted harassment against Christians. What say you?
Well, let's look at the legal framework. Under Title VII, which is administered for private employers like Major League Baseball teams by the EEOC, or public employers, which I administer at the Civil Rights Division, it is illegal to treat employees differently in their terms and conditions of employment, promotion opportunities, hiring, et cetera, on the basis of protected characteristics. And religion is one of those protected characteristics under our federal laws. And so that doesn't automatically mean that the Major League Baseball employers are in the wrong here. But what it means is if they're treating people of faith and their faith-based messages on their hats differently than, say, employees who want to have pins that are LGBTQ or other types of messaging on their hats, and they tolerate that. In other words, if they're applying that uniform policy in a discriminatory manner, that definitely could be the basis of an employment discrimination claim.
Well, there you go. I think Harmeet Dillon should have been considered for Attorney General. I like what she's doing here, and I think she's right to initiate this investigation. And she's obviously, based on that statement right there, she doesn't have a conclusion already. She said, "We'll see," and it's worthy of investigation. I do not have a problem with that at all. Now, I want to wrap this up because there was a minor league team the York Revolution in Pennsylvania, they had a scheduled Pride Night, and it didn't go quite so well, because on the 28-man roster, fewer than 9 players wanted to wear the Pride, the rainbow jerseys that they were going to wear. No, that's not it. And so they had to forfeit the game. And I just think that's absolutely amazing. Pro baseball team forfeits Pride Night game after players take a bold stand. And the Western Journal has the story and the opening line: "Let's hope this is the beginning of the end of Pride Month." I think it's on its way. I think Pride Month is on its way out, honestly. Because we've talked about before at the beginning of the month how it just feels different than previous Pride months. It's the corporate sponsorships are not there. It's not as in your face as it has been in previous years. Stores like Target and some others that used to put the Pride displays right in your face as you walk in, they're not there anymore. And again, like I've mentioned before, I think the debacle with Bud Light and Dylan Mulvaney, I think that was the tipping point. I think they saw how badly it affected the bottom line, and other companies too, like North Face, Target, and a few others, multi-billion-dollar companies, took huge hits. And they don't want to do that again. And I think that is what is at play here right now. And then when you have players in major sports opting out of participating in this madness, these organizations are going to have to make a choice. And it's not, the whole Pride thing is no longer an organic celebration, quote unquote, of the LGBTQ and whatever else alphabet mafia lifestyle. Now it's forced compliance. Now you either affirm our perversion, you celebrate it with us, or we'll cancel you. And in all honesty, when you look at the juxtaposition of the LGBT nonsense and Christianity, they treat the LGBT like a religion. Tell me how it's not a religion on their part. There are commandments. There are things you can't do. There are things you have to apologize for, or else you get cast out. They tell us that we have to accept pride, the sin of pride, among all the others that are on full display during Pride Month. We have to accept all that, or else. And I think if enough athletes, and it may be a little tougher for the pro athletes who are making multi-millions of dollars, the minor league teams, they're not making that much money. So it doesn't seem like as much of a risk to them, I think. But I think if enough of them start to get on this bandwagon, that could swing the pendulum even further and end this nonsense even quicker. All right, let's we got a couple of more things I want to get to before we get out of here and finish up the weekend. Joy Reid, she's back, and she's another one of these grievance merchants, and she had a doctor on her show, or actually it may be the other way around. She may have been on this doctor show. I'm not sure. Either way, there was a clip of this doctor making not a unique point, because I've heard points like this made before. I think Jamal Bowman a couple of years ago made a similar point to this, but it's worth it's worth reacting to. So let's go ahead and check this out.
I felt my heart having palpitations. I felt my chest tighten. I felt personally humiliated as a Black woman, as First Lady Michelle Obama is. And then it took me immediately, Joy,
allegedly,
to the data that we have. We literally have data that systemic racism, chronic discrimination, and also public humiliation, we have data that these things increase cardiovascular negative outcomes. And as I sat there experiencing those emotions, I know I'm not alone. I realized this is what happens. This is why so many Black people, and Black women specifically, have poorer cardiovascular outcomes when compared to other ethnic groups. This is why so many of us have increased strokes. It actually is real. And I felt.
So people saying mean things is the reason why Black women on a large scale are overweight, have adverse cardiovascular outcomes, strokes. It's because people are mean to them. It couldn't possibly have anything to do with so many of them on SNAP benefits and using those SNAP benefits to buy what amounts to basically poison, fat and poison. That couldn't have possibly anything to do with it at all. And is that what I'm getting from this? And you may say that sounds harsh and that sounds like an exaggeration, but go back and look at all of the videos that people made when the SNAP benefit was altered so that they couldn't buy a bunch of crap. Go back and look at some of those videos and all of the junk that these women piled into their carts ahead of that restriction taking effect. Just go back and look. And yes, there were videos of some white women and Hispanic women and everything else. I get that. But she's talking about Black women. So let's just go with what she's talking about. Go back and look at those videos. And then you tell me that somebody making a mean comment about Michelle Obama being a dude is the reason why they have adverse cardiovascular outcomes. Because I'm not buying it. Sorry, I'm not buying it. I would love to know what data she's talking about. And how would you even compile such data anyway? Just absolutely ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, we have another clip of, oh my goodness. Word Salad is back. And she was on she was on Donna Lemon's show. Donna Lemonade, Don Lemon, take your pick, whatever you want to call him. She was on his show. And there's a part of me that actually wants her to run again, just for the potential content and entertainment value of it. I don't think she's in any danger of getting elected president, honestly. So for me, it would just be pure entertainment. But oh my goodness, let's go ahead and check this out. This is probably going to go down as a classic, Kamala Harris moment.
I really truly believe this. We each have light inside of us. And we need to know that that is what inspires our hope as much as anything external to ourselves. And when we feel that and not allow an election or an individual to dampen that light, and instead let that light kind of carry us, in particular through moments of darkness, that we not only act on that hope.
Look at Don Lemon. I'm not even sure he's buying this madness.
But we inspire that hope in each other. And in particular at this moment, it is so important that we not only have hope, but that we understand that that should be a verb.
Hope should be a verb, she says. I hate to break this to her, but it already is. You don't have to say it should be. It is. Hope is a verb, and you are a moron. An entertaining moron, but a moron nonetheless. All right. I got one more. And it's become a bit of a tradition, I guess, to end this show, the weekend debrief, with some commentary from Steve Inman. And so that's what we're gonna do. And I think you're gonna enjoy this one. So check this out.
Well, getting up in somebody's face, leaving your chin exposed, leads me to believe you're all talk and no walk as you get pushed back, trying to hold on to his clothes, and now closing the distance between the two. It appears he takes an overhand right and a couple of uppercuts, and out of nowhere comes Bubba, now trying to break this fight up. What are you doing, man? And out of nowhere comes Bubba trying to break up the fight. Why is his ass crack showing? The dark side of the moon has been exposed, and why is he breaking up this fight? There's no rules in a street fight. And booyah! Instead takes an uppercut to the friggin' chin, and it is lights out. Good night. Get this guy some Giza sheets, quite possibly a my pillow. Obviously, he was getting up in his face, leaving that chin exposed like an idiot, a missed opportunity. But the opportunity came in right here for the guy on the ground as Big Bubba comes out with his ass exposed and everything. What the hell is going on here? This guy trying to make some sexual statement? I'm not quite sure. And if it is his friend, well, my God, he didn't do him a favor at all. He stood him back up, and this is exactly what the other guy wanted. He's like, great, now I can finish this fight. Misses while crossing over with that right, and then underneath he finds the sweet spot, and booyah, he'll be eating friggin' Hot Pockets out of a blender for the next 6 months.
He said eating Hot Pockets out of a blender for the next 6 months. Wow. Oh my goodness. Those never get old. Absolutely never get old. All right, y'all. That's going to do it for us here on the weekend debrief on the SHR Media Network. I hope you got something out of it. Right here on the SHR Media Network, though, you can check out our great lineup. We have Sackhead Sean with the Edge of Liberty every Monday and Wednesday at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. Jersey Joe with the Reaver of Common Sense every Monday and Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And BZ in the Berserk Bobcat Saloon, it is open every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. And Lyle Armstrong with Beer and Bullstein every Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. The guys have been taking a break, under the weather. Lyle has been ill, so let's pray for him that he gets healed completely. Sackhead Sean and Jersey Joe, they've been taking some time off, taking care of some things. They will be back. And so it's just me and BZ holding it down. So please join us every chance you get. Like, subscribe, share all the videos, do all the algorithm things, and pray that we continue to break through while the guys recover and rest up and get ready to hit it strong just in time for the push of the midterms. But that is going to do it for this briefing. We are not just here to fill airtime, but we're here to equip Christian men and spread the gospel of Jesus Christ and carry the banner of faith, freedom, and hope into the next generation. If anything that was said here tonight mattered to you, if it touched you, don't just watch, but share it. Bring another guy into this fight. And if you want to wear what you stand for, head over to missionreadymen.com, click Shop 7 Armors, and check out all of the great designs that we have over there about bold faith, true grit, and unapologetic patriotism. And remember, when seconds count, the police are only minutes away, but the Lord is right there with you. So keep your prayers going up and your head on a swivel. God bless.